Hey guys, welcome back to Homesteading Off the Grid and another morning ramble. Today's ramble is about how we don't really homestead anymore. We're not, I guess, a homesteading channel anymore because I've had several people call me out on this here recently. But I'm going to explain why, and it all has to do with starfish. Beached starfish. That's right. We don't homestead exclusively because of beach starfish. But before I get on to this, I want to dedicate a couple of Christmas ornaments here on our wildlife refuge tree. I guess some people have called me out for not killing all the deer on my property and eating them like a real homesteader. I've been called certain things for actually feeding them and thinking that I can communicate with them, and sitting here and enjoy watching them while I chop my firewood and all these other things. So anyway, whatever. Perception may not always be reality. Perception is our own individual reality, and that's where we need to be very careful. So anyway, this first bulb is for Pat Wagner. Pat is a long-time loyal subscriber, commenter of our channel. Pat is having heart surgery tomorrow. I'm assuming it's heart surgery. I know she's having surgery. She's having problems with the top chamber of her heart fluttering much quicker than the bottom chamber. Pat and Pat's husband Ron, our family's thoughts and prayers are with you. Best of luck with that surgery. This one up here, the silver one, this, by the way, seems to be the first silver bulb to go on our wildlife refuge tree, is for Nikki P 4444. I'm going to tell you about Nikki P 44 because it has a lot to do with starfish. So anyway, I'm going to make my way over here in this beautiful, glorious 29 degrees Fahrenheit morning. But I'm up here doing it anyway. And some of you guys have commented I need to start doing these in the woodshed again because it's so cold out here. Thank you. I appreciate that sentiment, but let me tell you, the woodshed's just as cold, if not colder, because it doesn't get any direct sunlight. As long as I sit out here in the direct sunlight, it's not so bad. So, okay, why we don't homestead anymore, and what's this have to do with starfish? Okay, well, somebody left a comment on the channel yesterday, and I went back to try to find out who it was today to give them a shout out and a thank you, and it was gone. And I think this person might have deleted it because it had religious connotations because it was called the parable of the starfish. And as you know, if you do follow this channel, we avoid politics and religion on here, not because we don't have our own belief systems, we do, but it's because we do not want to alienate. We don't want to run somebody away who might enjoy something we're doing and who might be able to grow or feel better, if nothing else, from what we've got going on here because they're not on the same God team as us. So we just don't do it. We don't want to run people away because they're not on the same political team as us. We don't want to do it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Our belief systems in politics and so that represents a small percentage of who we are, though it does contribute to a large portion of how we live our lives. I'll never deny that, especially in regard to any belief in a higher power. But when I think of my fellow man, I honestly believe that we probably have 90% of everything else in common with each other than we don't. And so that's what we like to focus on because this is the only way we will truly be united again. And this great divide, this rift through us as mankind will ever cease to exist. We've got to focus on what we have in common, not on what we disagree on. You and I might disagree on our political views and our religious views, but if we can agree on the best way to get our chickens that aren't laying eggs to start laying eggs again, hey man, or hey girl, you grab a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and let's have a talk. Now, with that said, whoever left this story about the parable of the starfish, shout outs for you, and feel free to comment in this video that it was you, and I wasn't going to ban you because you being religious. Many of you have heard this story, but some of you haven't. I don't guess I had. If I had, I'd forgotten. So the story's simple. There's a man walking down a beach, and he notices that millions of starfish had been beached with the recent tsunami or high tide or whatever, and he sees a little boy picking up all the starfish one by one, throwing them back in the ocean. So out of curiosity, he walks up to the little boy and he says, "Son, what are you doing?" And he says, "Well, I'm trying to save these starfish. I'm helping these starfish the best I can." And he's throwing them back in the water. And the man laughs and he laughs and he laughs. And he looks around again and he says, "Son, there are millions of starfish here and there's only one of you. What difference can you possibly make?" The little boy bent over, picked up a starfish, he tossed it back in the water, and he looked up at the man and he said, "I made a difference to that one." So folks, Yes, these morning rambles are going to continue to be about the feels. Somebody recently commented, I came here for homesteading tips, not the feels. Bye. Bye. Don't let the gate hit you where the good Lord split you. We do 3 videos a day, usually a morning ramble, usually one of my wife's cooking videos, and something else pertaining to either something we're doing here on the homestead, RE gardening, horticulture, agriculture, or family oriented. The morning rambles are typically about life lessons, my experiences, things you folks have shared with me in the comment section. And I want to give a shout out to all the people that don't comment. I know there's close to 2,000 of you. Every now and then one of you will peek your little head up and say, hey, I never comment. This is actually the first time I've ever commented. But I know you're watching, and I don't want you to feel alienated or neglected because I'm giving shout outs to the people that do comment. Guess what? Nikki P 4444. Here's her story. Sadly, Nikki lost her granddaughter this summer. It was about 4 months ago. Her granddaughter's name was Aaliyah. So that bulb is in honor of, it's for Nikki's daughter, who was Aaliyah's mother, in the memory of Aaliyah. And Aaliyah had 2 siblings. Nikki, she commented about this when it happened because it was about 4 months ago. School had just started. My son Daniel, who's 7, just started 2nd grade. And Nikki had let us know about this a little bit before that. And then she reminded us when I made a video about Daniel's first day of school. He had lost a tooth the night before the first day of school. And I made that video. I think it's titled something about what it's like raising a biracial child in America, which, the title threw a lot of people off. But basically it's about how sometimes some intellectual elitist type will ask me, what is it like raising a bilingual or biracial child? Everybody comment, oh, you live in the South. I bet people make ignorant comments all the time. It's not the Southerners making the comments. It's the folks, whatever. It was kind of like my attempt of basically, the point of that was, I don't realize I am until it's pointed out by me, by somebody who is intellectually dissecting every aspect of our culture and our life, trying to make issues out of things where no issues lie. It's my son. I can tell you what it's like raising my son, but that's as far as it goes. And that was the point of that video. But Nikki commented even then about how difficult it was for her to watch that video and think about the first day of school, because that would have been Aaliyah's first day of 2nd grade as well. She was my son's age. I couldn't talk about these things back then, and I didn't talk about these things back then. It's only been over the last couple of months that you guys, like Nikki, like so many others, like John Schwartz, who lost his son. He shared with us yesterday, his name was Josh. He's 36 years old. He tripped over a cord in John's home, hit his head, and died as a result. John, again, our hearts go out to us. Our hearts go out to you. But John also mentioned that he's realized it's by going through the tough times in life is what makes us strong and gives us the strength to continue to move forward in life and face the other tough times. And it's really what builds a character that makes us who we are. It's like the expression you've probably heard before. Tough times don't tough times don't create character. Tough times reveal it. That kind of is inverse of what John said, but I really would like to add that to how John said what he said, because John always adds quotes to what I say that makes me look at it a different way. John, I would like to challenge your belief system and let you know, just my 2 cents, that you weren't necessarily toughened up and your character didn't come because you lost your son. I believe the way you've been getting through it and the way you continue to share your experience, your strength, and your hope as a result of it is a revelation of your character. These tough times do not create character, they reveal it. And John, I believe you're an example of that. So anyway, what's this have to do with us not homesteading? The stories have been pouring in from the Nikki P 44s of the world. They've got to be told. These stories have got to be told. And if you came here for green beans and corn and how to build a goat house that ends up looking like a chicken house, and no, we have not ruled out getting goats. Somebody blasted me here recently saying they were unsubscribing because I never got my goats. Guess what? All the grass is going dormant right now. If I'm going to get goats, it's going to be when I've got 6 acres of free food for them. So I might be putting that off for a few months. Sorry, it's just practicality over trying to be an entertainer on YouTube and show some goats. That's not why we're here. We're not here for the feels. We're here for the reels, and that's what we are. That's who we are. It's who we will remain. So anyway, rambling off, going off on a tangent, guys. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday to me, John, Nikki P. You guys have given me the strength to talk about something that I was going to just blow past the fact that it's my birthday today. I'm going to tell you why. Because 20 years ago today on my birthday, I received the greatest birthday gift I've ever gotten in my life. And I'd like to have this birthday gift back. Let me tell you what that gift was. Today, my son gave me a card, and he made me a little handmade card to go along with this one, and dearly gave me a beautiful pair of house slippers, because I guess I'm kind of creep-oat, they'd say in the Philippines. Here we'd call that tight. My house slippers have been worn out for the last 3 years, and the bottoms are falling off, but I still wear them because they still operate. So anyway, dearly bought me a beautiful pair of new house slippers that almost fit, and I'm wearing them. It hurt my toes a little bit, but I'm wearing them because I love her. And as much as I like those house slippers and as much as I like this card, I'm going to tell you about the best Christmas gift I ever got. It was 20 years ago today. So I go to bed November 28th. I'm sleeping on the couch because my then wife was pregnant. She was very uncomfortable. She was supposed to have a baby the first week of December. So I gave her the bed. I'd been giving her the bed for a couple of weeks, and I would go on to give her the bed for the next 6 or 8 years. TMI. So anyway, I'm laying on the couch. I wake up in the middle of the night, wide awake. I'm like, why am I wide awake? I look at my watch and I realize it's like 1:30 in the morning of November 29th. So my first thought is, it's my birthday. My second thought is, the baby's here. I go in the bedroom. My then wife is sitting on the side of the bed, breathing that breath pregnant women who are having contractions do. I say, let's go to the hospital. Go to the hospital. Long story short, my daughter's born. That was 20 years ago today. So my birthday has always in the past been bittersweet at best, sometimes bitter. But now we're erring more to the side of sweet. And it's because of what it says in the card my son got me that it was a big aha moment. I've not seen the best birthday or heard from the best birthday gift I've ever had in my life for 8 years, nor have I her sister or her brother. But I'm here for them. My home is already furnished for them with spare bedrooms, and the welcome mat is there. And I've said this before. But now, in the past, it was all about me. Oh, my birthdays always sucked. I would never enjoy them. Even after I got together with Dearly, and even after Daniel had been born, we did not talk about my birthday on my birthday. Well, we do now, and we enjoy it, because in time, I have learned it's not that time heals all wounds, but it makes the pain smaller. The hole in your heart never disappears, but it does get smaller. And for anybody who thinks I'm callous enough to say I've replaced my other children with my child, no, never. There are people in our lives who can never be replaced. The hole is always there. At best, the hole gets smaller. But let me read you what the card says. It says, today is a celebration of the person you are, the gift you are to the world and to your family. Happy birthday. So I'm a gift to Dearly and Daniel, okay? But this card also says the gift you are to the world. You know, we all have gifts, and we may never know what our own gifts are. People have commented in the comments, I have a gift. The gift of gab, probably, and maybe it was because, I was a stockbroker for my first 8 years out of college, and maybe I got some sort of training that taught me how to say things good. I don't know what it is. But the Nikki P's 44s, Dawn, our friend over in England, so many of you folks who have shared your stories with us. There was a young lady, our subscriber Allison Ferris, shared a story with us this morning as I was on the way up here about her daughter who was in a terrible car wreck several years ago. Her brain got scrambled and she was expected to die. They said there wasn't even any use to do surgery, but Allison said, no, we want you to do surgery. We'd rather our daughter die knowing we made an attempt than always know that she died because we sat by and did nothing. They did surgery today. Years later, Allison's daughter is not just alive. She has a job. She drives a car. Allison pointed out her personality is a little bit different. She's here. She's among the living. These are the stories that are important. These are the stories that are worth being told. And these are the stories that give the 1,800 people who watch these videos every day for a reason. It's because they can relate, but yet who don't comment for a reason, because perhaps they don't feel yet that it's the time. Maybe they never will. Maybe they need a little bit more pushing forward. This is why it's not about homesteading anymore. And yeah, call it the feels, I call it the reels, but it's about the starfish. So that's why I finally had the strength to publicly say, hey, it's my birthday. And yeah, my daughter, who's 20 years old today, who I haven't seen or heard from in 8 years, who's absolutely gorgeous, as is her sister, and they're as beautiful as their brother is handsome. Today's her 20th birthday, so if you're out there, you're watching this. And the reason I don't say their names is out of their rights to their privacy and their rights to, if they're making the choice to not be in contact with me, I want to protect them. There are people out there who will look people up. Trust me, we know. As YouTubers, we know. So I love them. I love all three of them very, very much. And if you're watching, baby girl, happy birthday. I love you. I miss you. And you're welcome to come back to me anytime. You just contact me. My email's the same. All my contact information, except the cell phone number, is the same. And, of course, address. But my email, which you have, is the same. So, guys, it's not about the homesteading. It's about Starfish. Please share your stories of your experience, your strength, your hope with us. And because you give me reason, you saying I'm giving you reason to keep moving forward, you're giving me reason to keep moving forward, even if it's not about corn and green beans. So thanks for being with us for another morning ramble. And we'll see you next time for more from here, not homesteading anymore off the grid.